The Man from Toronto is a 2022 film directed by Patrick Hughes. This is written by Robbie Fox and Chris Bremner, and it stars Kevin Hart as Teddy and Woody Harrelson as the Man from Toronto. And I was really looking forward to this, partly because I love Woody Harrelson. I'm trying to watch every Woody Harrelson film, but also because I'm trying to get into action comedies. I've seen a couple, mostly with Kevin Hart actually, and I've rather enjoyed them, and it's not a genre I ever thought I'd care for. So I was keen to see what this was like. Honestly, the comedy for me is quite lacking. So that part of it didn't really work for me. It definitely is less comedy, more action, which is fine. It's not a problem, but I did go into it hoping it would lean more into the comedy. So I didn't personally love it, but it does seem to be quite an action-packed film. I haven't seen a tremendous amount of action films because it's not my genre of choice. I am making an effort though. And that means I can't really compare it to other films that might be similar. I can judge it basically purely on its own and with my personal preferences. And I can kind of say it was okay, but I wouldn't watch it again. Teddy accidentally gets into a situation at the beginning of the film where he's believed to be the Man from Toronto. And the Man from Toronto is actually an assassin. And the FBI end up jumping into that situation at the beginning of the film. They know that Teddy isn't the Man from Toronto, but they use Teddy to convince somebody else he's the Man from Toronto to try and capture somebody else. And of course, there are benefits for Teddy. He's not going to agree to this for no reason. However, it is obviously going to be a very dangerous situation. And we do get scenes, of course, with Teddy and the actual Man from Toronto, but I won't say too much about those. But I did enjoy watching Woody Harrelson and Kevin Hart perform together. I did enjoy that aspect. I didn't necessarily care too much for what was happening in those scenes. I just didn't find that I was engaged with the narrative that much. And I feel like I wanted it to lead more into the comedy. And for me, it didn't. But I did enjoy watching Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson performing together. That was pretty great. The narrative itself is very action-packed. The pacing is brilliant. It wastes no time setting things up for too long. We get a little bit of time at the beginning just to get to know who Teddy is and his current situation, so that then the rest of the film makes sense. But it doesn't waste too much time, and I feel like the pacing across the board, very well done. Absolutely no issues at all. So there's nothing bad about it. I can't say that this is a bad film. Granted, as I said, I haven't seen a tremendous amount of action films, so I can't really compare it, but I thought it was a well-written narrative with a great pacing, a lot of action, very well done as far as I can tell, but definitely not funny from my perspective. However, the performances were very good. So it's not a bad film. I can't say that it isn't well done, but I can say I didn't enjoy it anywhere near as much as I hoped. Yes, I liked watching Woody Harrelson and Kevin Hart. That definitely worked well for me in times when the narrative for me wasn't that entertaining. If you're a big action fan, I'm going to assume you're going to like it more than I did, but that being said, maybe not. I'd love to know what you think of it. I wouldn't watch it again, but as a one-time watch, I guess The Man from Toronto was not too bad.